Extreme Foolishness TV here. This is where I talk about extreme foolishness that goes on around you. I want to say a thank you to my new subscribers, to my female subscribers, mwah, mwah, mwah. To my male subscribers, what up, what up, what up, what up? What up, dog? How are you guys doing? Before I proceed, let me introduce myself because I've been getting some messages saying we don't know you. They call me Mr. Making Pay here in Georgia. I'm Aiken Stewart. I'm a trial attorney here in Georgia. I represent clients in state and federal courts in catastrophic injuries, those who get hurt in car wrecks or truck wrecks. That is what I do. I've been practicing for about 10 years now. I bring my legal experience, my life experiences, and my extreme disdain for extreme foolishness. I bring them and share my insights as I react to stories. Let's talk about what I'll be talking about today. Dr. Dre Settlement. Dr. Dre paid $100 million to settle with his now ex-wife, Nicole Young. I will read the story from the TMZ article, and I will give you my legal analysis and my extreme foolishness analysis also, and tell you whether this is a good deal or not in my opinion, and what I think happened. I will reverse engineer what I think happened in the case. Well, according to TMZ, Dr. Dre has settled his divorce case by striking a property settlement agreement with his ex-wife. And for Dr. Dre's part, we're told that he's delighted Nicole Young is only getting a fraction of his estate. He's happy. Dre and Nicole just filed their property settlement agreement in which Dr. Dre agreed to pay Young, Nicole, his ex-wife, $100 million. $50 million now and $50 million a year from now. And Dr. Dre is worth almost $1 billion, about 800 something million. Again, Nicole wanted half. She wanted half, but she's only getting $100 million, which is still a good deal for Dr. Dre. In exchange, Dr. Dre gets to keep 7 of the properties they own, including a Malibu home, 2 homes in Calabasas, and 4 properties in the LA area, including the $100 million Brentwood estate. He did good. In addition, Dr. Dre gets to keep, he gets the rights to his master recordings, trademarks, and interests in various partnerships and trusts. He also keeps all of their Apple stocks, which includes the proceeds from the sale of Beats by Dre. That is big, because when Apple bought Beats by Dre, they probably paid him a lot in Apple stock, and that stock is probably worth a lot of money. The divided fleet of vehicles, he gets 6, she gets, okay, well, she gets to keep the jewelry. You know, she probably wants all that jewelry. I know he doesn't too much care about the jewelry. She can keep all the jewelry, cash, and bank accounts that she maintained during the marriage. There's no telling. She may have been stashing money. You can't trust women like this. She may have been stashing money. But hey, I'm sure they'll figure that out. But there's no telling. Who knows if she was stashing money? Sources connected to Dr. Dre say Nicole could have actually gotten a bigger piece of the pie had she settled a year ago. One of the sources says she could have even been on the field for the Super Bowl halftime show as a friendly ex-wife. There are also some storage lockers filled with items from their various homes. Well. Let me give you guys my take. First of all, the fact that Dr. Dre settled for $100 million lets me know that he had the upper hand in the litigation. First of all, there's a prenuptial agreement. If you guys remember, Nicole Young said she did not sign a prenuptial agreement. Then later on, she flipped her story and said, oh, I signed one, but Dr. Dre tore it apart. bullshit. Those are the kind of stories that happen in the fairy tale world. She signed the prenuptial agreement, but she now claims that Dr. Dre tore it apart. It doesn't make any sense. After she now said, oh, we signed it, and Dr. Dre said that he was embarrassed that he made her sign a prenuptial agreement and tore it apart, she now said she signed it under duress, that she signed it shortly before the marriage, that her back was against the wall. These are the games a lot of these women play. The women will challenge prenups. They're either gonna say they signed it under duress, that they signed it on the wedding day or the night before the wedding, or they were under tremendous pressure. Or they will say that they did not get they did not get legal representation, that the other party, the husband, had the upper hand in negotiating the prenup, that it was heavily one-sided, and that the court should not enforce the prenup because it's unconscionable to do that. Baloney. She had attorneys with her when she signed the prenup. The prenup was fully explained to her. Remember, the prenup was signed in 1996. So at the time, the biggest thing that Dr. Dre probably had going on was the Chronic album. For those of you who are old enough to remember, in the 90s, Dr. Dre's biggest thing was the Chronic album. Then he was co-owner of Death Row Records, but he let that go. Suge Knight took over it. I think he walked away from that. So most likely the prenup may have offered to pay Nicole substantially less than $100 million, because at the time Dr. Dre was not worth close to $1 billion in 96. So he can only offer to pay her based on what he was worth at the time. So the prenup may have offered to pay her $5 million, $10 million, $15 million, $20 million, but substantially less than $100 million. So what tactic does Nicole Young have to be able to get more than what the prenup said? And Nicole said the prenup she had, the document was missing. Some of those women who would like to challenge prenups will lie. They will say, well, the prenup just disappeared. Well, the dog ate the prenup. Well, the snake ate the prenup. Well, a ghost came at night, unlocked the safe, and took the prenup. That is what they typically say. We know that is complete BS. So now that she challenged the prenup, she felt like that is the only way she can get some kind of leverage in negotiating ahead of what was agreed upon. So if the prenup offered to pay her $5 million or $10 million and she challenged it, and Dr. Dre is worth about $900 million, and she wants to get half, maybe $400 million, they will probably just reach a settlement and say, hey, let's settle for $100 million. Take this money, go away, which is still good money. And Dr. Dre gets to keep all the Apple stocks and all the properties and all that, which is good. And another thing is that once you sign this prenup, typically in the prenup, the lawyer will have it that this is the final agreement between the parties, and it may not be modified, altered, or changed except in writing signed by both parties. We know that we don't have any writing that was signed by both parties. There was nothing that terminated the prenup. So tearing the prenup itself does not terminate the prenup because it's not in writing. So all this story that the prenup was ripped apart and Dr. Dre told her that he was ashamed that she signed it and he did not want to enforce the prenup anymore does not hold water in court because it is not in writing. The only way you can terminate or end the prenup is in writing. So Did Dr. Dre get a good deal? Hey, sometimes you just want to move on with your life. So he probably just settled, say, take $100 million. And maybe she would have gotten more money last year. They probably felt like, her lawyers probably felt like, hey, it was better for her to just take the $100 million, because if the judge ruled against her, she could get substantially less, maybe $5-10 million or $15 million. And Dr. Dre may be looking at it like, hey, you know what? Instead of going through appeals, because she could still appeal the judge's ruling if it has any merit, even if she's going to lose, Dr. Dre may just be ready to move on. Settlement is the best way to put an end to litigation, because no matter what the judge rules, parties can appeal it. They can drag it on and on and on for years in appeals court. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Dr. Dre got a good deal? What do you feel about the whole situation? Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let me know your thoughts. If you are a new subscriber, put it in the comment and I'll respond to you, and I personally thank you. Appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. Stay safe out there, my lovely family. And most importantly, say no to extreme foolishness.